So, we've looked at how to graph linear equations, and the way we've looked at how to do it so far is using a table. This is probably going to be our least favorite way of graphing lines, just because it takes a lot of time and it's a pain, okay? For the next part, we're actually going to look at two different things, but this video is only about one thing, all right? The purpose of this video is to be able to graph horizontal and vertical lines. Horizontal and vertical lines are two very special cases. They have special things we're going to look at later. They're just a little different than other types of lines, so we've got to look at those special cases. Okay? The first equation we're going to graph is y equals 2. Notice what's missing in this equation based on what we did yesterday. There's not an x, okay? The only thing in this equation is a y. Y equals 2. Okay, now here's what our table's going to look like. We're going to do a table. We don't really need a 3-column table since there's not a rule. Well, there is a rule, but what do they tell us? They tell us that y is 2. Okay, y is always 2. So, we can choose our 4 points, just like we did yesterday. We can choose -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay? But what does this equation tell us? This equation tells us that y is always 2. When x is -1, y is 2. When x is 0, y is 2. When x is 1, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 2. They have told me in this equation that y is always 2. All right? Now, let's graph these 4 points. Let's see what we get. The point -1, 2 is right here. 0, 2 is right here. 1, 2 is right here. And 2, 2 is right here. So I get those 4 points. I go through them. I connect them. I put arrows on both ends. I give it a name. Y equals 2. Anything special about this line? This is a horizontal line, okay? When you have an equation of y equals something, a number, let me put the number sign there, not a star. If you have an equation of y equals a number, and that's all there is, that is a horizontal line. That's sort of backwards to the way we might think. We might think that'd be a vertical line because in our brains associate y with up or down movement, right? But when it's the equation and you always go up 2, you end up with a horizontal line, okay? Now, I want to introduce a weird word to you. We're going to work more with this later, but just to introduce to you, I want to introduce you to HOI, okay? Now, in HOI, the H stands for horizontal, okay? The H stands for horizontal. The O, don't worry about right now. We're going to come to it later. But the Y means the equation is y equals. HOI lets us know that a horizontal line has an equation of y equals. Okay? So that's our first special case. Now, our second special case. Look at this equation. X equals -1. What's missing? The y is missing. What are they trying to tell me here? They're trying to tell me in this line, x is always -1. Now, you can probably guess what's going to happen since you saw what happened when they gave us a y equals a number. But let's see. Let's make our table. X and y. Now, do we get to pick x here? No, we don't get to pick x. They gave us x. X is always negative 1. We don't get a choice. We get to choose the y here. Pick 4 y's. Doesn't matter. You get to choose. I'm going to be boring and pick what I've been picking, okay, for my x values, but now for my y values. So let's graph these 4 points. Negative 1 is here. Negative 1, 0 is here. Negative 1, 1 is there. And negative 1, 2 is there. What happened? We got a vertical line, didn't we? Its name is x equals negative 1. Okay? So, this is a vertical line. And its equation is x equals a number. Okay? Again, that's backwards to the way we might think, but if it's x equals a number, that's going to be a vertical line. Now, here's your next little funky word. This is a little weird word to help us remember things. Remember we had hoy a second ago? Now I want you to know the word vux. Okay? Hoy and vux. V stands for vertical. We'll talk about the U later. And the X means that the equation is X equals. So hoy and vux is going to help you remember this. Horizontal line, the equation is Y equals. Vertical line, the equation is X equals. Okay? Write any questions you have here, and we're going to do some practice with this tomorrow.